Hi guys, it's Lynn with Curiosity Crochet. Welcome today. We are going to put together this pretty scarf. It is it's a stitch I actually learned on YouTube again from Nati Crochet. If you're interested, I'll put her link down in the description box so that you can check out some of her tutorials because she just does stitches and then I go and make stuff out of it. Sometimes I come up with my own stitches. Sometimes I use stitches that I've learned. This actually is not a real long scarf. I did it just a nice short one. And we're going to put a border on it. So when you do go to make it, don't make it too wide because then we're going to add, the border's not real wide or anything. I just don't want you to get too wide and then you add the border and you don't like it anymore. And as always, you can use any yarn, any weight. It does not matter at all. You're just going to work it up in the multiples I give you, and then you will work it as long as you want it, because you can make it however long or short you want it. You can make it into a cowl, make it part of this and put it together. It's totally up to you. It is your project, and I want you to be happy with it. It is a really pretty stitch. It works up pretty fast, and it's not real hard at all. I'm going to walk you through the whole thing. I'm going to show you on a little, because I got my big piece done, so I'm going to show you on a small scale. I just had to do the pattern, and then I'll let you go, and then we'll meet back and do the border together. I figured that was the easiest way to do it. So I suggest whatever your yarn recommends hook-wise. I would use one size bigger. So mine recommended 5.5, and I used a 6, just because it tends to pull a little tight. So you want a little bit of a looser stitch on this one, but it's up to you again. I mean, if you want to use the recommended hook size or a size smaller, is totally up to you. Once I show you the stitch, you can decide from there, I suppose. You'll want a tape measure if you want to make sure, of what length it is or whatnot. The width doesn't matter, like I said, just don't make it too wide. But the length, I mean, or you don't even have to measure, you just get it to where you want it, and hey, this is where I want it. And then you want your tapestry needle and a pair of scissors. And I don't know if you guys noticed, but I'm at a new little setup today, so I'm trying something new. I am sitting at my son's desk, and I have the camera set in a little different way. I think I'm going to move it just a little bit before we get going, but I'm liking sitting here. So let's see how this video goes. You guys give me your opinions, and we'll go from there. So go ahead and get your yarn, go ahead and get your hook, and get all set. We'll meet back, and I'll show you the stitch. Okay, guys, once you got all your stuff together, let's give this a shot with the new setup. You're going to want to do a multiple of 4 with this. So grab your hook and your yarn. We're going to start with a slip knot. However you make your slip knot. Let me make sure I'm in shot here. So multiples of 4 basically means 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 until you get to the width of your scarf that you want it to be. I'm going to do, like I said, a small scale for you guys, so I'm just going to do 12. Well, I dropped it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, now what we're going to do, once you get your chains of however wide you want it to be, we are going to skip the first 3 chains. So don't count this one on your hook. You're going to start from this one. 1, 2, 3. And in that 4th stitch, we're going to put 3 double crochets right into that 4th chain. 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to skip 3 chains. 1, 2, 3, and we're going to put 3 more double crochets. So that's basically our repeat. You're going to put 3 double crochets into 1 stitch. And then you're going to skip 3, and then you're going to keep repeating that till you get to the end of your chain. Then when you get to the end of the chain, you're going to have 4 chains remaining. So you're going to skip those 3, and in the very last chain here, we're going to put 2 double crochets. We're always going to end with 2 double crochets. And once we get past the setup of this, it's just a 1 row repeat. So it's real easy, and I'm telling you, it works up so quick. I sat and made that little scarf in no time. I was sitting watching TV, and by the time I knew it, it was at that length. And I wanted, the only reason it's as short as it is I wanted to be able to put the border around it, and I wanted to make sure I had enough yarn left in that cake to do that. So, but I worked that up pretty quickly. So now what we're going to do, once you get to the end and you've put those 2 double crochets in there, we're going to chain 3. We're always going to chain 3, and then we're going to turn. Then what we're going to do is we're not going to worry about the actual double crochets that are here. We're going to work in this space. We're going to work around here. So we're going to do a double crochet into that space in between the clusters, basically. Then what we're going to do, this is just the setup, so don't worry too much. And I know this is going to be a little kind of but once we get past this beginning, it'll be fine. So now what we're going to do is we're going to, you know, those 3 chains we skipped down below, we're going to work into that middle chain down here. So we're going to put a double crochet into that middle chain of those 3. And it pulls it a little bit. And then what you want to do is you want to put another double crochet in that same space back where you put that first one. So you just push this one over a little bit, go in there and do your double crochet. So that's what creates that line there. So make sure when you're doing it, you pull this up pretty good. So then what you'll do is you'll skip right over to the next space. So you basically skip over these 3 and you just jump over to the next and you put that double crochet in there, and then you go down to that middle chain below and make sure you pull it up nice and tall. And then you go in and you do 1 more in that space again. And then you start getting these, she calls it tree branch. So it looks like, it does, it looks like a tree. So then you have, and it's a nice tight stitch because there's no chains in between. So it really lays nice, you guys. Then what we're going to do is we're going to jump over these 3 double crochets when you get to the end. So you're going to repeat that all the way over. So you're going to put 1 double crochet in the space. You're going to put 1 in the middle chain down below that we skipped. And then you're going to put 1 more into that space again. 1 more double crochet. And then you'll just jump over to the next space. And you just keep doing that all the way down. Then when you get to the end, you skip those last 3. And we're going to put those 2 double crochets in the top of that chain 3 from the beginning. Okay, so that's where we're at now. Now this next row is what you're going to repeat over and over and over until you get to the length that you want it to be. So we're always going to chain 3. So we're always going to chain 3, and we're always going to end it with 2 double crochets at the end. So there's your chain 3. What we're going to do, and this is where it gets nice and easy. We're going to come in this space here. We're going to do that first double crochet. Now we have those 3 double crochets from before. we're just going to work right in the middle of it. Right in the middle double crochet. So you're going to yarn over and do your double crochet right in there. Make sure you pull it up nice and tall so you've got that nice line. And then you're going to go back in this space and do your other double crochet. So now what that's doing is creating the, you know, every other row is what you're working into. I told you, it's easy. It's easy. Let's do that again. So now we're just going to jump back. We're going to jump over to the next. So you're skipping over the little bit of a cluster that we've got going. You go to the next space. Go in there and do your double crochet. Then you're going to go into that middle double crochet down here and do a double crochet. Pull it up nice and tall. And then go back into that space right behind there and do your last double crochet. And that's literally what you're going to repeat over and over again. Back and forth, back and forth. And it works up real pretty. And then don't forget your last 2 double crochets right here in your last chain, in your top of your chain 3. My yarn is following me. But then you get this real pretty stitch. It just turns out so nice. It really does. So let's go over that one more time, just so I hope I'm not going too fast for you guys. I hope that you guys can get this because it really is super easy. So you're going to chain your 3. You're going to turn your work. You're going to go right into this space here that we created from jumping over. And you're going to put a double crochet in there. And then, sorry, I'm fighting my yarn again. Then we're going to work into the top of this middle double crochet down below. So you're going to yarn over and you're just going to jump right down here. Well, if I could get in there, we would. You pull that up nice and tall. And then you go back into this space behind it. You just kind of have to move it over a little bit and find that space again. And put your last double crochet in there. And then you jump over to the next one. Put your double crochet in there. And we have dog hair, you guys. We have dog hair. Are you surprised? Probably not, because I always have dog hair. 2 big dogs always have dog hair. Okay, then we're going to jump down to this middle one down here. It kind of shows itself to you. You know, it's popping out. Like here, put a stitch in me. So we're going to do that. And make sure you pull it up nice and tall. And then move it out of the way a little bit. Find that space again. And put your last double crochet in there. So it's always 3 double crochets. Always. And then this is what creates your middle one that you're going to work in down below. And then here we go. We're going to put our last 2 double crochets in the top of that chain 3. Ba-bam. It does leave, you know, the edge isn't bad on this, but I just think it'll look really cute with the border that I've got for it. So it's up to you. If you don't want to add the border, go ahead and use the stitch and make your scarf and be done with it. I mean, I'll be happy that you made the scarf. But if you want to do the border, go ahead and work it up. We'll meet back and we'll work the border together, okay? I'll see you in a little bit. Okay, once you get your big piece done, and if you wanted to add the border with me, this is what we're going to do. To start with, we are going to put a row or, you know, all the way around. We're just going to do single crochets all the way around. With projects like this, there's no rhyme or reason really. You just want to find spots to put a single crochet in and kind of evenly space it out. That's all you really want to do. And you want to try and keep it even around the whole thing. Like, you don't need any specific multiples for this. That doesn't matter. I want you to be happy with your piece too. So you just want to make sure that it's evenly spaced out. So before you get going, chain 1 so that you have somewhere where you're starting and stopping. And I'm going to go right here where we worked, and I'm going to start there and put a single crochet. And then I'm just going to find spots. Now, you can go into this chain here and do it, or you can just go around it. It really doesn't matter either way. But just find spots to go in and put 1 single crochet in each of your spots that you find. And like I said, there's no rhyme or reason. It doesn't have to be perfect. And it's homemade, so it's coming from your heart anyways. Whether you're donating it or giving it to somebody, either way, it's still coming from your heart. So you just do you. Put stitches where you can find them. Get in where you fit in, you know? So go ahead and do that. Go ahead and put 1 single crochet all the way around your entire piece until you come back up here, and then we will go from there. I'll meet you back. One thing I want to give you guys a little bit of extra knowledge is when you come to the corners of your work, you want to put 3 single crochets in each of the corners, because then it gives you that nice clean corner. Other than if you just put 1, it gives you like a pull. It pulls on it a bit. So when you come down here, you're just gonna, in the same stitch, you're gonna, well, down here it's a chain. You're gonna put 3 single crochets right there in the corner, and then you're gonna move on. Now remember, down here is the chains and stuff that we skipped and everything. So just do your best down here. Like, we know we skipped 3 chains and worked into 1. So you can do 1 and then do 1 here. Well, you want to try and not just go into that one thing, or else it's going to pull weird. So I would kind of come down under here and get into 2 of the loops and do a single crochet and then 1 on the other side of it, so that you're getting the 3 that you skipped. And then do that all the way across, and then do 3 in that corner, come up the other side, 3 in this corner, and then come across, and then we'll finish this off together. So I'll meet you when we get here. Okay, once you come back all the way around, and now see, now we have a nice even single crochets to work into, so it'll be easier to do this cute little border. But you should have 1 stitch left to work into, and that's where we're gonna put those 3 single crochets for the corner in this very last stitch here. And then we're just going to jump over here where we started, and we're gonna slip stitch that closed. So now you've got corners, we've got corners, and you can sew in all your edges when you're all done. You don't have to worry about that right now. And technically it'll look like you have a front side and back side, but once we put the border on, you'll be totally fine. So you know what, I'll be right back. Okay, so what we're gonna do for this border, now, it's going to seem a little complicated, and you may already know the stitch. It's a reversed single crochet, but it gives such a cute little border. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to go backwards. We're going to work, it's going to be against everything you know in crochet, but we're going to work backwards around. So it's a little tricky to get going, but once you get it and you're going, you'll be fine. So what we're going to do is we're going to jump back. Now remember, this is your slip stitch, so you don't want to work into that. You want to go to your last single crochet, and we're going to go in here, and we're going to draw up a loop and do the single crochet. Now go to the next one. We're going to keep going in the same direction, and you want to work behind it basically. And then you're going to go into this one, and you're going to make sure this string is coming this way, and don't get caught on the stitch. And you're going to finish your single crochet. You're going to jump to the next and just keep coming, and then jump to the next, and just keep making sure you're kind of working behind you. But see how pretty that is around the outside of this? Oh, it's going to be gorgeous, you guys. Gorgeous. So once you start coming around, you'll see it's just that beginning corner that's a little tricky to get going. But now you're still holding it the same. You're still doing basically the same thing. It's just that you're working in the opposite direction than what you're used to. So you're putting the hook backwards instead of forwards. So the next stitch behind, do your single crochet. Next stitch behind, do your single crochet. And then you're just going to do that. And now you don't have to worry about the corner. I just dropped that. You don't have to worry about the corners because we already made them. So you're just going to follow your single crochets that you made. That's why I had you guys do that, because this is so much easier. So now coming around the corner is going to get a little crazy again too. But just turn it as you go. Get in that corner one. And keep coming this way. I hope I'm in shot. This is such a new way to do this for me. I'm sitting at his desk. But just look at how pretty that is for a little cute, little extra added something for your scarf. And see, once you get it done, there really is no right or wrong side. They both are going to look pretty much the same. So you don't have to worry about that. So go ahead and get that done all the way around. I'm going to get mine done and we'll meet back to finish it all up. Okay, once you make it all the way around, and of course my white turned into yellow right at the last minute, of course. But can we just take a minute to look at how pretty this is with this border? I mean, come on. Sometimes I am in awe of how beautiful some of these stitches really are and how much joy it gives me to do this. Now, I'm not a super fan of the colors in this yarn, and I did forget to mention what I used earlier, which I'm gonna try and put something like writing wise up there, but it's Premier Sweet Roll, and it's just a 4-weight yarn. These have 245 yards in them, and with the border, this is all I'm left with. So, but once you come back around, we're gonna slip stitch, right? You will be able to see it, but this is the top of your your reverse single crochet right here. So we're just gonna still go backwards, and we're gonna insert in there if I can. And it's slip stitched for me. Huzzah! Okay, and then, you know, just tie off, and then you can go around sewing in all your ends, and you have a scarf, a cowl, whatever you came up with. Like I said, I'm not a super fan of the colors that I picked, but the scarf itself with the border, I just think is gorgeous. I just think it is so perfect. Like if I picked different colors, or if I just did, you know what would be gorgeous is if you did one solid color and then picked another solid or even variegated for the border. That would be gorgeous. Pow, I might make another one. I might make one for my mother-in-law. Maybe for my sister-in-law. I don't know. But if you're new to my channel, I invite you to subscribe. It's right below my video on the right-hand side. You do have to be signed into your Google account so that you can subscribe. And there's a little bell that you can click on. It'll notify you every time I have a new video. If you liked this scarf and you liked me, give me a thumbs up. That would be really great. Let me know in the comments how you felt about this new setup. If you found it harder to watch, or if I mean, I'm going to watch back through this, obviously, before I put it out there for you guys, but just let me know your comments. Give me a little insight into your minds. And, oh, one other thing. So one of my favorite YouTubers is Bag-A-Day Crochet, Crystal. I don't know if any of you watch her, but she has put out a YouTube challenge, basically. And I know I'm nobody special right now. I don't have that many subscribers, but I thought if you can reach anybody, why not try it? But she put one out for the hat no hate. So you basically make, it's from Lion Brand. They do this every year, I think. And it starts in March, and you just make a bunch of blue hats. They have to be blue. They have to be 75% blue. So that it can have other colors in it, but the majority of it has to be blue. And there's an address. When I make the video, I'll put all the details in the description at that time, but I'm coming up with the perfect pattern for it, because I just want it to shine. So get your blue yarn ready, because in the next couple days, we're going to make some blue hats, and we're going to send them to Lion Brand, and we're going to get rid of the hate altogether. How does that sound? Okay, guys, I really am glad that you came. I'm really glad that you enjoy my projects, and I'll see you guys in the next video.